Moderation is a myth, and here's why. When I speak on moderation, I'll also touch on balance. I'm referring to when it comes to work, achieving success, your goals, whatever the case may be. And I'll give a few examples of what I mean by that. But before I go into the examples, this video actually stems from a previous video I did where I spoke on fitness. I essentially, because I'm a fitness coach, I would advise my clients when they're first getting started, whether that be whether their goal is to lose weight, get shredded, or gain muscles. I would advise for them to completely refrain or eliminate drugs and alcohol, junk food, whatever is contributing to their poor quality of health, sleep, etc. Completely eliminate it. No moderation, as in Monday through Saturday you can eat clean, or Monday through Friday you can eat clean, and on the weekends you can just throw all of that out the window. That's kind of moderation. I hear a lot of people speak on moderation, being able to do both, being able to do some things that are good for you and do some things that are bad for you when you're first getting started. But no. But let me give a few examples, right? Let's jump into today's video that we're speaking on. So, and for some definitions, moderation is basically not overdoing it, right? Essentially being in the middle ground. Balance is basically where you spread your time and attention across multiple different fields and areas in your life, right? So let's go into some examples of working, achieving success, that caliber of things. A few examples that jump to mind. My audience members are primarily 18 to 24. So probably right off the bat, some examples that we're all tracking, all aware of, are these streamers. FaZe Clan, iShowSpeed, Kai Cenat. These individuals or group, team, or AMP group, right? These people, they stream continuously, days on end, weeks on end, months, probably not months on end, but I think FaZe is trying to do a thing where they're going to stream the entire month. Kai Cenat here recently, it's December, he recently did like a Mafia thing. He streamed for like a week or two continuously straight. Like, that's insane, right? That's not moderation. That's not work-life balance. That's not, I'll hop on the stream, I'll stream a little bit for today, and then I'll go engage, do my social life thing over here, or I'll go do some other hobby. No. He knows that his bread and butter is streaming. So guess what he does? He pours all his energy and effort into streaming, right? That's what he does. That's what makes the money. That's what gets him the attention. That's what helps him pays the bill. That's what, does it for him. You see what I'm saying? Or another example was, let's say, for example, Michael Jordan can be considered one of the greatest basketball players, I guess, ever, right? From my understanding, he wasn't much of a team player. Maybe he's a bit aggressive to work with, right? So like personality conflicts, right? A lot of his team members, they used to butt head. Probably wasn't the best like family man or husband, right? But one of the greatest basketball players that ever played basketball, right? That's what he poured his energy into. Maybe he wasn't too sociable, maybe he wasn't too family orientated, maybe he wasn't the wealthiest, but basketball was his bread and butter. Basketball was what he did right, it's what he knew what to do, and he poured and he focused and concentrated as much as his energy as he could into that endeavor. And now I'm touching on that because common advice that I hear in life is, I'm not too sure about the self-improvement space, but I wouldn't say the self-improvement space. We're some go-getters over here in self-improvement. But in, I guess, regular day-to-day life, I hear a lot of individuals speak on like moderation, having balance, relaxing, taking it easy. And more than likely, if you're in this space, if you even clicked on this video, more than likely, success is what you're looking for. If you're on this space, if you clicked on this video, etc., right? So having this whole balance thing where you split your attention multiple different ways, like diversifying your assets, that's it'll leave or it'll lead you poor results. It's a bad return on your investments. I'll give a few examples, right? 18 to 24, we're young men here. So let's say, for example, a video game, RPGs, Skyrim, even Dragon Ball Z, right, etc. Let's use Skyrim, for example. That game is very popular. For example, you can specialize in something, right? Or let's say a random RPG. I can touch on Skyrim, but let's use the RPG because Skyrim is kind of specialized. Either you're a swordsman or you're a mage. But let's say an RPG. You have to specialize in something. You don't want to just put some points into HP, put points into attack, and your defense, and your agility. You don't want to just put points in any field. You want to specialize on something. You want to do something and just focus on that and be good at that, right? A good example is if it's Skyrim or an RPG, I was always the two swordsman, right? I had a lot of attack. I was slow, but I could knock down foes in a couple of hits. That's what I was good at. If I was very slow, right? I was an orc. I was very slow. But if that sword touched you, your HP bar is going to drop with each hit. Bar by bar, your HP is going to deteriorate. But I was slow, maybe not the most HP, but I was strong as heck. So what I could do is, right, kind of like Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan's a great shooter, I think his name was Scottie Pippen. No, there was another guy. I can't think of his name. I think his name was Rodney. I can't think of his name, but he was a great rebounder on the Bulls. He played Michael Jordan. So the rebounder guy, he wasn't good at scoring at all. He wasn't great at scoring, but he was a very good rebounder. So if Michael Jordan missed or anyone missed, they had the rebounder to go and get it. So if I had to use that example with Skyrim, right? Since I'm all focused on attack, I can have someone who maybe is a tank. He can take some hits for me, or I can have a healer, right? So I can just focus on what I'm good at. And instead of just trying to do everyone else's job, try to do a bit of everything, try to learn magic and learn the defense and learn the shield and the sword and archery, right? I'm purely my sword. I'm purely two-handed. I'm purely melee, and I'm trying to maximize and be as good as I can in the melee field, the melee endeavor, right? That's not moderation. That's not balance. I'm dead focusing my investment or my time and attention into that field. And a good example is too, right? Because this kind of reminds me of the saying, like diversifying your assets. It's a common saying. But top investors, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, these guys did not diversify. They're diversifying their assets now, but when they were our age, they were not diversifying. Elon Musk went all in on his companies. I believe he went all in on PayPal, and then once he sold PayPal, that's when he started Tesla, SpaceX, etc. But before PayPal, he had a few other companies, and from the money he generated from those a few other companies, he put it all in PayPal, and then PayPal profited, and he transferred it to Tesla, SpaceX, etc. I believe Warren Buffett went all in on Coca-Cola or Brookshire, the company. He went all in, and now he's reaping the rewards of said company all this time later. I say all this to say, diversifying your assets, it's not that it's bad advice, but you need assets first to diversify. I'll give a good example. I've been a crypto investor for a couple of years now, and I invested early on in Polygon Matic. I invested really early on, but I was so split, I was so diversified that even though Polygon shot up tremendously, I didn't get that much return on my investment because I split up. I kept splitting up my funds across multiple different cryptos, across multiple different sectors. So 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 you'll encounter that where one of your companies or one of the stocks you're holding, they'll rise in value, but because you're so split up, you don't really get that much return on your investment, right? You see what I'm saying? Okay, like it's for example, it's almost like saying, not saying you should do this, but an example could be instead of buying, I'm using cryptos for example. I'll use a stock example as well. But if you guys are into crypto, no crypto. Instead of buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Doge, these meme coins, right? Instead of splitting all your money into these different cryptos, you could have just bought Bitcoin. You could have just poured it all into Bitcoin. And although Bitcoin probably isn't going to shoot up as much as these other coins, but you can concentrate all your energy there, all your money there. So when Bitcoin does move, even if it's a small jump, since that's where the bulk of your capital is, it would also have a bulk return on investment as well. But do you see what I'm saying? The myth of moderation, right? Unless you want to be average, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being average, right? It kind of has like this negative connotation to it, but there's nothing wrong with being average. But I can only assume that if you're in a self-improvement space or that you clicked on this video, average is not what you're looking for, right? You're looking for success and whatever that may mean to you. Success is not a universal term. Success to one person could be starting a family, getting a house, wife and kids, a career, a business, entrepreneurship, a good job, a certain level of finances. So success is user dependent. It's individually based. It's not a blanket statement. It's not general. So I can only assume that if you're clicking on this video and you're in the self-improvement space, average is not something that you want to do, right? So if you do not want to be average, you're going to have to be doing more than what everyone else is doing. So if everyone else is telling you to do work-life balance, to try to split your attention all these different areas, right? Then, I mean, you can see for yourself. And another example, so I learned fitness training, being a fitness coach from some other guys, right? Some OG in the fitness space. And, we're in a conversation, Zoom calls, etc. And he's basically telling me that he's working like 12, 13, 14-hour days. And this is some time ago. And I'm sitting there listening. And I'm just like, what? 14-hour days? What in the world is this? What is this guy talking about? And he was saying he knows that on his Instagram, on the social media, he makes it seem like he's working out of his laptop, like on a beach or on a yacht or something. But he's saying, no, behind the scenes, I'm working about 12 to 14-hour days. Even Elon Musk, I saw he tweeted, I think he said he was working like 14, 15-hour plus days, 7 days a week, months on end, years on end. I'm just like, it's just, and I'll give a personal example, right? Because what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to be doing more. If you don't want to be average, you need to be doing more than the average. I'm in the fitness, right? I'm in the fitness space. I'll give you guys a quick, glimpse of the physique if you're not tracking. So I got some muscles on me, right? And I thought I was doing good. I was eating my 2 to 3 meals a day. I was taking my protein or whatever. This one guy, I follow him on Instagram. And I try to like use people as inspiration. Yeah, I try to use people as inspiration. So I was just going through his page, scrolling through his pictures, his posts, his reels. And I read the caption on one of his reels. And this guy was saying how he was eating 5 to 6 meals a day. And I think he was getting in about maybe 5 to 6 calories a day as well. And I was just so blown away because I was getting in probably about 3,000 calories a day in 2 to 3 meals a day. And I had some muscles at the time. This was a few months ago. I had some muscles at the time, but it wasn't as much muscles as I wanted. And it was nowhere near his level of muscles. Like I'm pretty good, but he's like probably double. He has probably double the amount of muscle mass as I do. And I felt humiliated. I felt embarrassed. I felt kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie, I felt sorry for myself because I'm reading this, I'm reading it, and I'm thinking to myself, this guy is literally doing double what I'm doing. He's eating double the meals per day that I'm eating. He's intaking double the calories that I'm intaking. And I'm looking at his physique. His physique is twice as better as my physique. It was a very humbling moment, right? It was a very humbling moment. So, for example, right, one of my successes is the fitness, is the physical, is to have the muscles, right? And he's the person I was looking at. He was a good example of what I was trying to be, and he was doing double what I was doing. See, so I wouldn't say that I was doing average. I wouldn't say my physique is average. I don't want to give you guys body dysmorphia. I know my physique is not average, but I do not want to be average. I want to be way more than average. I want to be exceptional. So it's like, if this was average, I'm probably here above average, and he was up here. And I admire him, and I'm seeing him saying this. Like, I was eating barely 3 meals a day at the time, 2 to 3 meals a day. He was eating 5 to 6. So he was eating double the meals per day I was eating. At the time, I was probably getting around 3,000 calories a day. He was getting in about 5,000 to 6,000. So he was intaking double the calories that I was intaking. It was a humbling experience, a very humbling moment. So to bring it all back together, I gave you a few examples. I gave the examples of the streamers, Kai Cenat, iShowSpeed, the FaZe Clan. These guys are streaming days on end. Even Mr. Beast, this guy's videos are insane. It's like the way he comes up with some insane stuff. You know what I'm saying? He comes up with some insane ideas for his YouTube videos, right? There's no moderation in that. Maybe a couple days out of the month, and those guys are chilling, but most of the time they're working. I gave an example of the fitness trainer, a guy who, so I'm a fitness coach, and I was getting trained. He was telling me he was working 14-hour days. And the guy on Instagram I was looking up to, he was telling me that, the guy I was looking up to, he was telling me that he was eating 5 to 6 meals a day, double the calories that I was intaking. So that's what I mean when I say moderation is a myth. If you want to be above average, exceptional, you're chasing success, you're going after your goals, you clicked on this video, you're in the self-improvement space. I can only assume being average is not what you want to be. It's not what you want to do. And if you do not want to be average, you want to rise above that, you're going to have to do way more than what the norm is, way more than what the average is. For example, with the fitness thing, right? He's doing way above the average. What average person eating 5, 6 meals a day? But I don't want to beat a dead horse, guys, all right? Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified for more. Let me know what you think about the video in the comment section down below. I have a free Discord, a community. Join it up. And if you're interested in my socials, right, see what I got going on behind the scenes, my Instagram, TikTok, etc. is linked down in the description box down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.